the chance. Mr. Panagiotis Ntontos will do the presentation.
Without slides.
Without? Just talking. Panagiotis will give you a chance, as your presentation says, to just wait for a couple of minutes. Nice.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ntontos Panagiotis, and I will present you with an idea which I believe can give hope to new colleagues and a new perspective for the field of geology in terms of serving society directly. At this point, I must say that I'm grateful to the scientific committee for approving this presentation, which is about a rather professional and not strictly scientific issue. So let's talk about well inspectors. The science of geology has worldwide applications in numerous social and financial areas. However, in our country, although the title of geologist has been an autonomous educational qualification for 50 years now, its application has been limited. Moreover, the science of geology is essentially state-devouring, as it is heavily subsidized by the state. Geologists will either be exclusively employed by the state or work as freelancers mainly in studies for public works or constructing companies whose main focus is public works. Offering services and receiving fees directly to and from individuals is extremely rare. The employment of geologists by individuals in order to solve problems has not been institutionalized by the Greek state, and there are almost no specifications for geological works. Moreover, geology as a vocation is gradually being divided into the realms of engineers, mineralogist engineers, civil engineers, etc., who have insufficient or no geological knowledge. The Presidential Directive 99 of 2018 is the most characteristic example, as it entitles civil engineer graduates to draw up and sign hydrogeological studies. In this time, when state insufficiencies, such as understaffing and malfunction, in conjunction with intense environmental pressures such as drought or salinization, and the need for development of the primary sector production in an international environment facing numerous problems, for example, food, energy, and financial crisis, there is a chance for upgrading and developing geology. This field can provide indispensable services to numerous aspects of both society and finance. The institution of well inspector will constitute an important step for the field of geology. Although there are more than 250,000 functioning wells in Greece, you can see here about 42,000 only, the involvement of geologists in their licensing and function was only institutionalized in 2005. However, according to current legislation, the involvement of geologists only takes place in the phase of licensing, during the issuing of the drilling permit or the water use licensing. The state is responsible for monitoring the function of wells. For instance, the monitoring of consumed water quantities or the chemical and quantitative condition of underground aquifers is under the exclusive jurisdiction of the state. It is evident that the state will never employ public servants to gauge the hydrometers, nor to sampling water from private wells for chemical analysis. Furthermore, no directorates of water management would ever impose penalties on an individual for pumping excessive amounts of water according to their water use permit if the public service itself does not first complete the processing of all outstanding applications for water use permits. For your information, you can see this table which depicts the estimated time required for the completion of the licensing process based on 2016 data. Back then, in the first 6 years of the implementation of the pre-existing wells law, a total of 25,000 permits had been issued. The respective number today is 52,000. Bear in mind that the total number of wells is estimated at over 250,000. The institution of well inspector aims at the training and certification of geologists who will play a double role. They will provide services to individual users on an individual well level and also to the state by registering important and with scientific accuracy data for the management of water resources on a river basin level. The responsibilities of well inspector for each well will include a minimum of monitoring aquifer level twice yearly. In problematic areas, conductivity measurements will also be conducted. These measurements should be conducted before the end of the wet period, approximately in April-May, and before the end of the dry period, around October-November. Climatic differences in each area should also be taken into consideration. More specifically, in wells used for irrigation, measurements should be taken before and after the irrigation period. Registering of the quantities pumped twice yearly during the respective periods of water level measurements. Registering the energy consumed twice yearly during the respective periods of water level measurements. Under specific circumstances, the measurement of the consumed energy can be a reliable means of estimating or confirming the water quantities pumped. Water sampling for chemical analysis will be conducted as frequently as the water use permits dictates. The data acquired via monitoring, such as data or chemical analysis, etc., will be entered in an electronic database which will be kept in the respective responsible body. In addition to the monitoring of the wells, the certified inspector will have to conduct an appropriate pumping test to determine the hydraulic characteristics of the aquifer, such as transmissivity and storativity, as well as those of the well itself, such as critical discharge rates or specific capacity. These characteristics will constitute part of the well identity. Furthermore, they can lead to pumping optimization with the aim of covering needs using the minimum amount of pumped water required. It is common knowledge in irrigations that the individuals interested only have the maximum amount of water in mind. As a result, in many cases, the pumping rate exceeds the critical discharge rate of the well. In my opinion, there is the margin for saving energy through pumping for agricultural uses is immense, both for the individuals interested and for the state itself. Finally, the responsibilities of the well inspector may include a great proportion of the well licensing process, which constitutes the greatest volume of the decisions issued by the Directorates of Water Management of the country. Just to name one, the water use permits of the existing water use rights constitute 81% of the total number of the decisions. Through an electronic licensing system, similar to the one used by the system of arbitrary building arrangements used by the Technical Chamber of Greece, well inspectors will issue decisions such as water use permits for existing water rights, revisions of water use permits, drilling permit and water use permit in groundwater bodies which are in good quantitative and chemical condition according to the River Basin Management Plan. Other, more civil decisions required for the function and or the construction of wells. The simple or more complicated data collected by well inspectors will constitute services to individuals through which they can save money through the optimization of the pumping program so as to lower the reduction of the water level in the well being pumped, and consequently the quantity of energy consumed. Save money through timely problem detection, such as screen clogging, which causes unnecessary and expensive action to be taken, such as well deepening or well replacement, etc., or income loss due to reduced well performance. Protect water resources from exhausting or salinization phenomena, as in many cases, for example, irrigation wells, their good quantitative and qualitative condition constitutes the necessary requirements for farm production. Moreover, the ability of certified inspectors to issue simple decisions will minimize the time required for individuals to deal with the problems that arise. Currently, these individuals are distressed and possibly lost income due to the significant bureaucracy involved. The understaffing in services such as the Directorates of Water Management, in conjunction with the lack of coordination between the relevant bodies responsible, as well as the inadequacies and the errors of the administrative tools such as the River Basin Management Plan, have reduced the water resources management plans from an essential tool of environmental management and financial development to merely a meaningless bureaucratic procedure. Through the institution of well inspector, there will be multiple benefits for the state on different levels. The state will save financial and human resources, and the employees will be able to deal in issues more important than well licensing. Acquire a reliable database according to which the state itself will be able to design river basin management plans more appropriately and control the course of action to be followed. Acquire the monitoring mechanism which is impossible to take place due to the current financial conditions as more employees are needed. Will be able to implement energy-saving plans in times of energy crisis, such as the one we are facing now. Use European funds in environmental actions, such as dealing with the nitrogen pollution. Finally, the most important benefit for the field of geology will be that if this institution is implemented, there will be hundreds or even thousands of work positions available, which will absorb a large proportion of the unemployed, reaching 14% according to Geotechnical Chamber of Greece data for the year of 2021. The implementation of well inspector will directly benefit the state, the society, and the geological realm itself on multiple levels. The adoption of the proposed plan and its implementation must be claimed by the field of geology itself, aiming to promote its usefulness and development. Thank you.
Okay. As you realized, we started the hydrogeology section because we had to fit all the sections. I remind you that section is engineering, geology, and hydrogeology, and we had to make all the presentations properly, so it's something between engineering, geology. We're moving to hydrogeology, which is tomorrow.
Anyway, it's not a scientific.
Yeah, okay. Are there any questions for Mr. Ntontos? Okay, thank you very much.